Alright, welcome to this video. We're going to go over movement, setting up basic materials, and a little bit about advanced materials. So let's jump into it. Go ahead and open your game project folder. If you don't know how to get that there, check out video number 1. If you need to know more about the editor, check out video number 2. And let's let this load. Go ahead and down click this while it loads. Here we've got our game asset or our project folder. Inside here, we're going to talk about movement and manipulating objects first. So again, we have our viewport. We got all this stuff that we covered already: file, menu, hierarchy, settings area for objects, viewport, game testing right here, turn it off and on, escape to get your mouse back out, and our projects folder and console for testing. Now, out here in the viewport, the way we move around, just to be clear on this, is we want to right click and hold, and then W is forward, S is backwards, A is left, and D is right. Q and E go down and up. So if you want to do down and up as well, you can do it with Q and E, or you can look down and press forward with W, or S for backwards, and that'll go up and down as well based on where you're looking. Now, if you were to fly far away, I didn't cover that last time. That's a reason why I'm doing this, to make sure I cover everything. If I were to want to fly far away, I can hold right click and hit forward, but I'm going slow. If I hold shift, I'll go faster. And I go really far away, and now I don't know where my scene is, right? That's a problem. Well, not if you know how to hit F on the keyboard. So you go here and you select like blub audio, and you go F, and it takes you back to that object, or focuses on that object. That's a good way to get back to your scene if you have a problem. It's also just good for moving around quickly. Like if I'm like, oh, I want to work on this object real quick. Oh, I select it in the hierarchy, hit F, and it takes me there quickly. That's just a good way to move around as well. Now, how do we manipulate objects? In the world, if I right click, we covered movement. So again, just to be clear, before I go into manipulating objects, right click, look around. W forward, S backwards. A left, D right. Q and E up and down. Look down, press forward to go down, or look up, press forward to go up. And that's how you fly around. This is all while holding right click. Now, when we're manipulating objects, let me add an object to the scene for us to see. If I take this object and I want to manipulate it, if I get this hand icon right here, it'll just move my camera, like how I can fly around, but it'll just move me left and right, or up and down. But we don't tend to use that very much. We tend to fly around with the right click WASD. And then the manipulators, the way you get rid of that hand is just select the manipulator or select the object that you're wanting to work with, and then hit WER, and it'll go down through here in the manipulators. So again, this is your move tool, rotate tool, scale tool. And yeah, these are how you're going to block out and start creating things within the world. So how do we build something? Well, let me just build an arch for you to see real quick. If I hit W on the keyboard and I move this, then I scale it down and I scale it vertically, I'll get something like this. And then I can take this object and put it like that. And then I hit Control D to duplicate, or I go to Edit, Duplicate, to duplicate the object. And once I do that, I can click back out here, move this object again, so I moved it over. Now I can duplicate that object, so Control D or Edit, Duplicate. Then I drag this into the middle, and I'll just create this like sine arch thing. Notice I'm using the axes when I'm moving things around, and I'll show you why that's important in a second. But if I move this object up, you can see I built some sort of arch. If I want to modify this further, I can go Control D to create a duplicate there. And now I could take these. If I want to connect them, I could just connect straight through by pulling them vertically with the W key, and go to R and select the vertical scale to scale it up here. And yeah, that's how you begin to create assets or things within Unity that you can manipulate. Now, let's go into controlling the manipulators a bit. If I were to create a 3D object and look at this closely, we have the middle section to drag in 2 axes at once, but that's not really used that often. We get more control by dragging the arrows. And the same goes for the other manipulators. So if I go to rotate or hit E on the keyboard, I can drag one of these axes to get more control, but I can also select in the middle to rotate it randomly, not randomly, but from all axes. And then this outer ring that's hard to see, might be hard to see on the screen, this is your viewport, so it'll rotate the object based on the view of the camera, So if I move over here, it'll rotate it this way now. And that's how rotation works. Now let's go into scale. So I can hit R, or I can select it right here. Now rotating, or not rotating, scaling this object from the center is good because it allows you to scale in all directions, which can be good if you want to like scale this up and then duplicate it and scale it up and then scale down, and you want to stack like a smaller box on top of a box. This is still a cube because I scaled it from the center. Now if I scale it from one of these axes, it lets me create other types of objects, but it's no longer a cube, obviously, and it just gives us more control when we do it that way. But we can still, if we wanted, we could scale this up as well to, say, get like a larger object here, or scale it way down and then scale up to get something like this. Now, manipulating is a little bit more interesting when you start using global versus local. So this would be considered global controls, meaning it's functioning based on the world's axes. But if I like rotate this, right, you'll notice when I go back to this, I can move it up. But if I go to global right here, so directly under game or right here next to center, you go to local, you'll notice I can move it along this axis. The axis or axes will rotate with it, thus giving us a different form of control and a little bit more precision when we're moving things around to be a little bit better at modeling or blocking things out. So that's how you use local control versus global right here. And you have to change it. It's not a per item thing. It's whatever you selected last is how you're going to manipulate the objects within the scene. Now, one other thing you got to pay attention to when modeling or putting things in the world is scale. So we covered move, rotate, scale, but scale in terms of the player matters. So if I hit playtest at the top and then I walk around a bit, you'll start to see what I mean by scale right here. If I go down here and I look up at this object, it's quite large, like I can actually walk under it, right? But this doesn't look like I can walk under it, right? Because of scale. So you really got to pay attention to what you're um, looking at and how things are oriented in the world. Like, is this going to hit me in the head, or is it just going to, it apparently just barely goes over me, which I don't really like. It's kind of weird. But yeah, and then also just testing like colliders. You want to test your objects, make sure they're working properly. Like when you run into an object, does it move, etc. That's an important thing when you're starting to place objects and create levels. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover inside of the editor in this video, was just moving, rotating, scaling objects, moving your characters. So we'll cover that one more time. Right click WASD, or WASD, and then F to focus on objects. And then we can do WER, or move, rotate, scale, or you can select it right here. And yeah, that's how you start to use Unity and place things in the world. Oh, and one other thing, you can select multiple objects with Shift or Control, and then once you have multiple objects, you can duplicate grouped objects as well. So I could group these and then hit Control D, and I could move this and create two of them, and then I could hit Control D again and hold Control while rotating, and I'll get snapping to turn on to be able to easily do something like this. And then if I wanted, I could just line these two pillars up, and then I'll just select one, select the other, make sure I have this pillar selected and this pillar, and then I can just delete them, and now I have some sort of weird contraption. But yeah, that's how you start placing objects and building things within the scene. In the next video, we'll go over materials and advanced materials. I know I said I was going to do that in this video, but I'm sorry. Don't want to make the video too long. I want to try to keep the video short. And yeah, we covered movement and rotating and manipulating objects. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.